So we're going to do a quick brake job on a 2013 Hyundai Sonata. It's pretty much standard. I'm sure a lot of you have seen 100 brake videos, but for the people that never done brake jobs out there and they may have a Hyundai, they may have a Sonata, they may look it up and see exactly what to do. And it's pretty much exactly the same as any other Japanese make. Obviously this is not Japanese. Maybe it's not obvious, but to me it's obvious. Not Japanese, it's Korean. Hyundai's Korean manufacturer. Anyways, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna I chalk blocked the back wheel. You put on the parking brake on the back. Don't do what I'm about to do, which is I'm not about to use jack stands. Don't do that. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna remove the wheel. I'm gonna take the wheel off, put it under the vehicle. It's literally gonna take me like 2 minutes to do this, so I'm not even gonna bother to use the jack stands. So let's get up under here real quick. What you want to do is right here on this lip right here, this is where you want to go. So what we're going to do is get right up on this lip right here. Make sure this is in position. We'll just lift it up from here. Make sure you got a good focus. So I'll just lift it up. I have an impact for this. If you don't have an impact, what you want to do is you want to break the lug nuts loose first. But like I said, I have an impact. It's a 21 millimeter. 21 millimeter. Yeah, 21 millimeter. Take it off. Don't do what I'm doing here, which is not using jack stands. Don't do that. Do what I say, don't do what I do. We'll pull this off. I'll put it on the side of the car, just so in case it falls, it'll go on the wheel rim. Alright, that's out of the way. I got my little light that works nice. 14 millimeter. Before we do that, we're going to stick this in here. We're going to stick it in right here. Okay. We're going to stick it right here. And we're going to pry it back. Now, what I've done is checked the brake fluid level, because they will refill it when it needs replaced. And then if you do this when it's topped off, what it's going to do is overfill. So I'm going to continue to do that. Pry this. Almost all the way. Until it's still moving. There you go. 14 millimeter. Loosen this one. Counterclockwise. Down here. Loosen it. We'll pull them both out all the way. You could just lift up the bottom end. So I think the brakes cost probably $35, $45, somewhere around that. They want $200 to change them. We'll just do it real quick. You can support it right here if you want to. I'll be right out of here. Done in a jiffy. Those are no good. They need replaced. I always put them like this. Already did the other side. So if you notice right here, this is the this is what makes the noise when your brakes are no good. You can see it starts rubbing and makes a noise. I already changed the other side. And what I'm gonna do now, like I said, I already changed the other side, but you notice right here, it's in the same direction on the bottom. You want to keep it in that same direction. This already has its own little shim. We'll just use the new shim for that. Double check, make sure they look the same, and they do. And the next thing we want to do is these pins right here. I always do it. They'll say check it, see it works perfectly. That's fine. I understand you don't want to do it, but I do it every time. You know, I do it every time. I'm gonna pull these out. Just hold the boot, pull this out, get some of my little disc brake lube right here. All right, just put a little bit. That's fine. You got new lube every time. Circle it when you do it. Put it in there. Make sure it grabs. Do the other side. See, it'll last 2 or 3 brakes changes. This vehicle's still fairly new. Just re-lube it every time. Just, you know, you make a habit of re-lubing every time, and you never got to worry about it drying out. These things dry out and they stick, and your brakes end up sticking. And, you know, everyone wants to cut costs nowadays. Don't cut cost. They said they need to resurface. No, they don't. They don't need to resurface. There's no way. There's a lip on this thing, and you can see the lip. There is no lip. You don't need to. I mean, you can resurface it, but I don't recommend resurfacing at all. I recommend replacing this, and it doesn't need replaced. Resurfacing, what it does is thin it, and when you thin it, what it's doing, in my opinion, is making the brakes less effective. So, old ones, new ones, what we're going to do, move all the brakes out of the way, spray it down a little bit. Still new. Usually you should put a pan underneath. That's fine. What I'm going to do is get my brake caliper lube, put a small little teeny dab right there, right on the edge. Boom, small little lube right there. Don't touch the surface. Small amount right here. They have stuff you can spray on. Just put a little teeny bit. Small amount. That's all you need. Okay? Don't touch the surface. Put it in there. Make sure it's flat. Make sure it's even. Don't get any grease or oil right here. Get the other knee pad. Do the same thing. Alright. Small little tab. Small little tab. Even that's too much. Just put a little here. Wipe some of this off. It's a little too much. Wipe it off. It's good. Looks good. If this ain't pressed in all the way, let's see if it goes on here. You can use the clamp, the special tools, whatever. Just use what you got. We're doing this on the fly. I'm pushing this in here against here. See if it works. And it does. That's it. I got special tools for everything. I got special tools for this and that and this and that and the other. And most of the time, I don't end up using them. Sometimes there are special tools. For example, like on the crankshaft pulleys and stuff like that. Sometimes there's no other way around using the special tools. If you want to crank this down to OEM specifications, go ahead. I've done enough of these where I know what it feels like. Tight, and a little more. That's it. It ain't coming loose. Tight. Still a little loose. That's good. It ain't going nowhere. So what we're going to do is you're going to get in the vehicle because you don't want to put the tire on yet. And you're going to push the brake. And what that's going to do is just close it up. It's going to close it up. That way your first few pumps after changing your brake, it doesn't take up the slack. Because what happens if you don't do this right now, go ahead and keep pumping it. So it's nice and tight. Nice and tight. They're good. They're good to go. Brakes are done. Let's put the tire back on. Let's torque it to spec, anywhere between 80 to 100 foot-pounds. And I always use a torque. Always, every single time. I've taken vehicles to where they change tires and they think they know everything, and they replace tires 100 times a day, and they use an impact to put the lug nuts on. But guess what? They are not doing it properly. They changed the tire, they replaced they put the rim on, and they torqued it down, and there was a noise that wouldn't go away until I had to remove the tire and replace it. So every single time, cross pattern, torque it down to specification. Every single time. Do not, and I mean do not, use an impact to do that. You can start it off with an impact, but do not finalize the tire, the rim put on with an impact. Alright, well, that was easy, that was simple. If you don't think you could do it, I got 8-year-old kids out here doing stuff like this. So if you don't think you could do it, I think you can. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe.